and the troops at church, and I'm seeing every one of you in line. And I'm thinking to myself, you didn't get the memo that said it's too cold to be outside. And I know Donald Trump won this election, but that kind of grit that you show standing out there is why he won. So I'm asking you to give yourself a round of applause right now. Now I'm going to be quick here because we got a bunch of folks coming, but I'm going to tell you a little story. And it's called James Brown. James Brown meets Ronald Reagan in Trumpland. And it starts like this. Once upon a time, when I was a high school senior, back here in Washington, I got to check off the first thing on my bucket list, which was go to a James Brown concert at the Howard Theater. Anybody here, D.C., know the Howard Theater? It's long gone, beautiful place. James Brown, you know as the King of Soul, but he was also called the hardest working man in show business. And James Brown and Donald Trump were actually good friends. And there's a story for the fake news. I don't know if you want to report this, but there's a rumor going around in 1999 when James gave the entertainment in Mar-a-Lago on New Year's Eve. He taught the boss how to dance. You can print that fake news because that's what you do. So why am I talking about this? Because Donald John Trump, like James Brown, Donald John Trump is the hardest working president in history. And today he starts working for you. You know, he got elected because he was on the right side of the issues. But it was also because he outworked everywhere. Now, where does Ronald Reagan come into it? Ronald Reagan said, personnel is policy and good personnel is good policy. Donald Trump is the spear, but he has assembled a beautiful team to do everything he wants to get done. Do you want secure borders? Do you want deportations? Do you want to stop the flow of fentanyl? Do you? Yeah, people like Tom Homan, Christine Nome, and El Supremo Stephen Miller. That's the personnel that's going to help Donald Trump do that. Back there, we got Chris Wright and Doug Burgum. They're the twins on drill, baby, drill in the cabinet. They're going to get that done for you. And we're going to stop the wars out there. And Donald Trump's going to do it with the help of people like Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, and Steve Witkoff, who just helped negotiate the hostage release. And Pam Bondi, you know Pam Bondi? Yeah? Kash Patel? Yeah? What do you want them to do at the Justice Department and FBI? Clean that place up? What do you think? You see, Fauci got pardoned today? Yeah. Yeah, well, as many of you know, they sent me to prison for 4 months for defending the Constitution. And I can tell you, with all honesty, I never met anybody in prison who did as bad stuff as those people. Fauci, Merrick Garland, Alvin Bragg. Time for a little accountability, perhaps. And lastly, I'm going to be a small part of the big trade and manufacturing team. You're going to see new folks, shining stars, like Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, Scott Bessent at Treasury. These men are giants in the world, and they're going to be with veterans like Jamison Greer and Kevin Hassett. And we, with Donald Trump as our commander-in-chief, are going to protect you from the unfair trade that ravages this country, steals our jobs, steals our factories. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, I got one thing left on my bucket list here, and maybe you can help me out. I'm taking a risk here trying this. But I've gone to so many rallies and watched the boss, and I've always wanted to feel what it was like to be on stage as him when the crowd went absolutely wild. So why don't you warm yourselves up, get ready for the boss, and let me hear you say what you're going to do for Donald Trump. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on.